And we're back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Carolina Keith, regular Keith, Professor Keith, just Keith. Keith, I can't stand Keith. Oh, no, not Keith. Here we go again. Keith. Nonetheless, good to see you all. I hope you had a good weekend. Charts had a pretty good weekend, but we're going to talk about what's happened since then, mostly today. Thank you for joining me on Crypto Before Dark. If you could, please go give us a like. It costs absolutely nothing here. When you hit the like button, that lets all the algorithms, be it X, Rumble, or YouTube, and we're on all three right now, that lets all three of them know, hey man, people are paying attention. Subscribe. Free. Costs absolutely nothing to subscribe. If you're over there on X or Rumble, give us a repost. Let everybody know you're watching. That would be awesome. And I appreciate you guys being along on the ride with us. You can hit the notification bell if you want, but nobody ever does, so it's fine. I get you guys don't want to be notified constantly about what's going on. It's annoying. It's annoying, and I get it. Pardon me up front for my voice. It's a little shaky. This happened maybe middle of last night. I started noticing my voice sounded a little odd. Nothing I could do about it. The weather's rapidly changed here. Gosh, it was pretty decent temperature up until the last couple of days, and then it went down into the teens. So, I'm not blaming that. I'm saying it's pretty awkward timing that the weather dropped as fast as it did, and then my voice started sounding weird right about the same time. So, whatever. Nonetheless, let's talk about it. So, first things first, over the weekend, we did manage to liquidate some shorts that had piled in on top of everyone and really made life hard, right? I don't have those on the screen because they're already been taken out. But let's talk about what's happened just today. Bitcoin so far is down 3% just today alone. And that might not seem significant. You say, oh, it's only down 3%. But look what's happened in the last couple of days. It's only up a couple percent either. And for what it's worth, since this time last week, she's down a significant amount. This time last Monday, this thing closed 3.5% higher. So not only are we closing already lower on the weekly, we're below our last week's close already. Not great. This is just showing us more sell pressure and more sell pressure and more sell pressure. All of the red horizontal lines that you see on the chart here represent shorts that have piled in on top of the chart, just pushing the price down and punishing the bulls along the way. Every single time they try to come along and buy up the stuff, now the bears come in and just slap them down real hard one good time, and they continue to take profits every time they get a chance. It's pretty ruthless, honestly. But that's the name of the game. If you can't short, you shouldn't be able to long either. That's part of it, right? If you've got a good, strong chart, then the bulls shouldn't have a problem running the price up. That's the way it works. If you don't like short sellers, don't get involved. That's the game. There's going to be a lot of people you're going to find out over the next several months that are going to complain about the short sellers. Oh, people shouldn't be able to bet against us. But well, if you have good numbers in a good company, people betting against you will lose. That's how this works. So anyway, all those are shorts where they've piled in. And you'll note that quite recently, and I got the daily chart pulled up here, and we use a daily chart because it's quite simple to use a daily chart. You only got to look about 5 minutes twice a day, and that's all the time you have to spend on it. Just over today, you see these shorts all starting to pile in on the top of these last two candles, dead flat reversal with a big push down, bearish engulfing, everything ugly that you don't want to see all at once. It had just closed 2 candles over the 8 EMA and then goes right back under the very next day. Yet another head fake. We continue to make lower highs. Brutal. And we continue to make lower lows. Brutal. And that cues up some jazz music. It just keeps getting worse. Every single time you get a couple buyers in, you get slapped back down by more sellers over and over again. They just simply look for spots to get back in and nuke you back down. I will say we did, like I said, liquidate some charts liquidate some shorts there. And problem is we just slapped resistance on the bottom side, and looks like this thing is going to make another run down. If you look at what's happened the last few times when we had this happen, right? Your chart flattened out, and then you got several red volume candles in behind it, right? Several red volume candles. Several red volume candles. It's likely they'll get the same thing here. Several red volume candles. And where does that lead to? Well, that leads back down to our support level where I've got the box drawn right there. Drew this box all the way back probably a week and a half ago. It did get hit a few times and managed to bounce, which was nice. Problem is it hadn't sustained it. That's what we needed to see. We needed to see the thing sustain buy pressure. And it just hasn't. Every time we get a little bit of buy pressure, like I said, they come in and just slap it back down with some more shorts. And the thing it can't stop tripping over its own feet. Simple as that. It can't stop tripping over its own feet. Got to take one foot in front of the other and sustain it up those stairs. And it hasn't been able to do that. So where do I see this going? Well, you have a bit of a head and shoulders right here. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Typically get 2 down moves after a head and shoulder. This will be your first one right here. After the first down move, you tend to retest the neckline. Right there is the neckline. So here's your first move down. Oh, that was a terrible arrow. I can draw better. There you go. There's your first move down. Then you got your move up to come to the bottom of the neckline, and now you're likely going to get your next move down. This will be predicated on how far down we go. All right, we can pull fibs on that to help find that out. We can pull a fib set like this, and it'll kind of show you what I'm seeing here. So had we stayed above Sniper's Alley right there, it'd be a different story. But we didn't stay above Sniper's Alley. We failed it. And now that we're back under where the low wick came from, it looks like more down from here. How far down? Well, our previous levels of 100,000 and 98.6 make total sense. Call it 98.5. If those levels fail, if 100,000 fails, 96 down here liquidates a ton of longs. These longs come all the way back to May. If you wipe those out, you wipe out all the gains on the yearly chart. Crazy work. And honestly, the yearly chart is up about, let me find 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 31st, 1st. So if we go down to 96, we're going to have a almost 0% yearly candle. 2025 was a big fat bummer. So whenever you see people say, oh, crypto's doing really well, isn't it? Well, a couple are. A couple. How's that? All right. Most people, as we know, and as you will not be told, but is the truth, they don't trade. They just hodl. And if that's the case, you bought in 2025, you were either down or flat. So all those promises that you were made about prices going way up and you were going to be rich and it was going to make us the crypto capital of the world. Bad news for you folks.
Wrong.
It's not true. It's not true. Some are up. Most aren't. That's the sad reality. Most are looking pretty darn brutal. There's nothing you can do about that except deal with it. All right. How much more brutal? Well, I just showed you here. If this thing doesn't get going and hold 100,000, down to 96 she goes. And I'm not sure we get back over 100,000 after that for a while. We don't know yet. And that's a brutal spot to be in. I don't want anyone to be in that spot, and it could get much, much worse. Do not forget that it can always get worse. There's you a downward trend line right there. As you see, touch, 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 touch. Fail, 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 fail. Brutal. Just brutal. So hold 100,000. If you don't hold 100,000, 96 is in the works. All right. Let's take it out to the weekly chart. We can take that trend line back off. You get the point. Here is the weekly moving averages. You are pressed against the weekly 50 moving average right now. You did manage to close over the weekly 50 moving average on Sunday. Somehow, miraculously, this thing got back over the weekly 50 and managed to close there. But shortly after that, we've immediately went right back to it, and we appear to be chasing that wick again. is what it is. All right, hang on. So we're going to get rid of these bots real quick. We got people talking about bullshit coins and doing bullshit. We're not gonna do that. I'm gonna report you as spam, and you will be removed. It's just a bot that grabs live streams and starts promoting spam. So if you guys are a moderator in the channel, please, if you see anything talking about pre-sale coins, mute them or kick them out. No, thank you. We're not doing that. I saw it coming before the thing started, and I thought, hey, I'll give it a minute. Maybe it's horseshit. But nope, multiple times pop in there and said something. Shout out to Crypto RC and Mr. XRF over on Rumble. Said, man, I hope it's up Vember, but the way it looks more like down Vember. I hope it's going to be a Christmas blowout, but Bitcoin's going to have to sort itself out. Absolutely. It looks more like nope Vember to me.
Come on, man.
I know, bad dad joke.
Bruh.
Sorry. But it looks like nope Vember. Another red month. So, again, 2025 was quite the stinker. It was supposed to be big, supposed to be grand, supposed to be great. Absolutely wasn't. Sorry. Wish it was different. Nothing I can do about it. Does that mean 2026 is going to be good since 2025 was supposed to be good? I don't know. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense for it to, but I guess it could. What do I know? I'm just reading the chart and telling you what I see. All right. We keep it real on this channel, or we keep it to ourselves. If it doesn't close above this weekly 50 moving average, she's absolutely cooked. It might already be absolutely cooked for what it's worth. Back down to that box is brutal. As you can see, that weekly 50 moving average is not even close to 100,000. So hold it or else. You don't hold that, more failures to come. Yes, you are into support here. I see that. But it's a lot of lower highs, fellas. A lot of lower highs and not higher highs. And that's downtrend, not uptrend. And that's just the way it is. Needs to improve drastically. While we're on the subject, let's pull up Bitcoin dominance. All right. So we've been talking about Bitcoin dominance for years. Good news on this is Bitcoin dominance is still holding on weekly underneath this orange resistance line here. All right. It was support while it was over it. Now it's under it. It's resistance. And it's good news that we're forming a head and shoulders here on Bitcoin dominance. And why do I say that's a good news? Because if Bitcoin dominance continues to go up and nothing else goes up, there is no big alt seasons. All right. You need Bitcoin dominance to go down so that some of that money is funneled off into altcoins, else there is no alt season. All right. There just isn't an alt market for coins that randomly exist. They only happen because profits are taken and reused. That's just the facts. And Bitcoin dominance hasn't failed yet. It just hasn't. It made a move down and it's made a lower high, but here we are hovering, working on our 8th week green in a row. And yeah, there's some ugly candles in there, but the bitch just keeps on going up. She's back in the wait a minute zone on the weekly, as you see in between the 8 and the 21 EMA right there. Wait a minute means just, well, wait a minute. But if we go to the daily, things are a little different. And for what it's worth, my trading view has been going hella slow, so it may not work too well. We'll give it a second here to see if it actually loads up, and I don't think it will. This is like the 3rd time this has happened today to me. Trading view been wigging. It's not going to work. But this gives me a second to say, hey, everybody. Shout out to Zach. Good to see you, brother. What's up, Rug? What's up, Thor? What's up, 808 Buddha? Good to see you. What's up, Cody Kinsel, Cord Miller? Good to see you, Crew Chief. What's up? How you doing? Oh, come on, Delmer. Dude, for fuck's sake. Report. Unwanted spam. Off you go. Off you go. Hey, like, you don't think I'm going to fall for that, do you? Come on. Bitcoin dominance isn't going to work, so we'll go to something else. All right. Moving around over here on my right. You guys can't see it. I'm trying to catch the stupid idiots spamming the chat with coins that nobody wants to buy on their pre-sales. Anyway, we can go to our weekly here. And as you see on the weekly, this thing continues to look no bueno. Failing this 1272 here when both the other charts and camera off were way higher at this point in the cycle last time. Simple underperforming here. It just didn't do as well as most thought it would. 130 was two of my targets, but not the third. It never got to the 172. Brutal result, right? It may get to the 172 next bull run, but we're not there yet, are we? Nope, we're not. So that may be a whole nother 3.5 years away. Sorry. But it's worth noting, if we go down to the low time frames, this thing is getting oversold. It was oversold last hour. There you go. Oversold means you should probably look to buy somewhere or decide where you would want to buy. But not everywhere. See, 4 hours just now failing the 50-day moving or 50 moving average on the 4 hour. It's not great. It's jumped over it and just immediately puked and gave it back up while the new shorts entered. As you can see right there, new shorts have entered. So since those new shorts are there, that gives a target for the longs. But the problem is these shorts have all this liquidity under here to come after. And you don't want that to happen because they will attack. And when they attack, it's going to suck. It is what it is. Just got to take it on the chin and move along. All right, let's go to Ethereum. People often ask about Ethereum. We'll pull it up and look at it. So, again, another chart that's not working. There we go. Some pairs are just lagging really, really, really hard. All right, here's the daily, pulling a fib from June lows to high. We did hit the 50 fib, but we're rejecting that 382. So we're still in range here between the 382 and the 50, between 3,600 and 3,250. So until this breaks, until we get up above that next range, you're simply stuck here. Again, this could be a situation where you're getting a head and shoulders and a push down, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right there. Okay, so shoulder, head, shoulder, neckline, big fall down, retest, one more big fall down is fully possible there for Ethereum. Since you see no signs of buyers and it looks as though you failed the uptrend right there, this thing is heading down in a hurry and you can't really take a risk on this until you see some sort of a fair bounce. And it hasn't happened yet. It just continues to roll over. And every time we get a little bit of up, get blasted by sales. A little bit of up, blasted by sales. It's actually really, really difficult to watch and deal with. But, hey, man, whatever. No one said it was going to be easy, right? Exactly. The good news is I'm up on a lot of positions that I took. Problem is I'm not up enough. And it's just not, we just don't have enough green to make up over all the red we've had. It continues to be brutal price action every single time you think it's going to do a little better. She smacks you right back in the nose. It sucks. All right, so we do this every week. What's up, Kruji? We do this every week, but again, here's XRP stuck underneath this resistance zone right here in orange. Until it gets above this resistance zone, she's still just stuck in the mud. As far as the Ichimoku cloud goes, I will say, there's some improvement here. As you see, you're now over the Ichimoku cloud. That's one of our 4 check marks. You have a green cloud, albeit very, very small on the end. You have the lag line over the candles. That's a good sign. And last but not least, you want the blue line, which is the conversion line, over the red line, which is the baseline. And we don't have that yet. So you've got 3 out of 4. Not bad, but I'm going to warn you that's a big bearish engulfing. This thing looks like it's going nowhere fast, so I would be careful. It is over the 821 EMA yesterday, closed 2 over the 8. So far, you've fallen right back under the 21, though, back into the wait a minute zone. Rejected the 50 moving average very, very aggressively. What you're going to note, though, is if you go looking around, a ton of them look exactly like this. They were showing promise and then snap your fingers, immediate and instant rejection. And it's hard to make up from that. It really is. It shows you how difficult it is to maintain buy pressure. It's so easy to short this stuff. It's so much more difficult to long it. All right. I say that because it's easy for people to sell and take their profits. It's hard for people to constantly find new money to buy with. And that might seem like an odd thing to say to people who are actually watching this, but the difference is between you and most people is you're actually more involved than the average person. And the average person looks at this and just goes, well, I can't buy anymore. I don't have any more money. And you look at it and go, I'm saving up extra money so I can buy more. That's not the way that most people think. So till that replaces and gets better, or stuck in the mud here, again, improving, but we don't have an 821 EMA cross, and we're not over the 50 moving average. We're still under trend. We're still under the 200 and the 100 moving averages. If I pull up the pivot, you're still stuck underneath. Well, you actually broke the pivot and you're back testing it right now. That's not terrible. You were underneath it until yesterday. That's a good thing. Your oscillators are moving up, but they're kind of no help. 40 to 50, and you're at 47. That's pretty nominal. And MACD has improved. You've gotten rid of your sell volume and flipped that over into the green. That's a good thing. So some confluence turning green, but you still got a lot of red. All right. So let's walk softly into this. We're not out of the woods yet. Baby steps. It's pretty sketchy still. Fair enough. I think that's fair enough. I just try to keep it real with you guys and be honest with you, man. Come on these live streams, dude. It sucks. This used to be fun. Used to come on here and hang out with people, talk shit, run some charts, look at some stuff, hang out with people, have a good time. Man, this hasn't been fun in a long time. Makes me not want to do it. You know what I mean? To be the guy on here and constantly be the one giving bad news sucks. It really does. Hey, whatever. I guess I'm the lemon in the water. I hate to be that way, but I mean, isn't it true that someone has to do it? I guess I'm that someone. Let's go to one. How about one that we haven't done on a live stream in a while? DAG. All right. So here is DAG. Constellation. We haven't charted this in a while because it's been so shit for so long. Sorry, fellas. It's the Keep It Real channel. It's not the Make You Feel Good channel. But hey, worth noting, over the last couple of days, we've had some buy pressure come in, and that's a good thing. What does it mean for us? Well, right now you'll see it. She's jumped the 820. Come on now. She's jumped the 820. See the trading view lagging, pushing buttons and they're not clicking. You have jumped the 821 EMA. Lovely. Close up here. That's one of 3 yays. I'd like to get 2 closes over this 8 EMA right here. I'd like to get that 8 EMA over the 21 EMA, which is the purple line. And I'd like to break this 50 moving average. That would give us a 3 out of 3 on the Reaper strategy, which is here. It basically breaks down your buys and sells into thirds and gives you a stop loss. Stop loss would be the Reaper line here, which would be underneath that last low somewhere down there at like 015 and some change, maybe. That would be about where I set my stop loss if I were a normal person trying to find the right spot. Also, it gives you places where you take profit, right? If you see an 8 EMA failure, if you see an 821 downward cross, or if you break the 50 moving average, those are places where you would want to scale back out rather than back in. Fair enough. That's the Reaper strategy. And weekly wise, look, there's been some improvement, but be careful here. This thing is still stuck under the trend and it's still not jumping off the page at me with a bunch of buy pressure, right? There you go. You kind of see you're still under the trend even with a green week. A green week isn't a good thing or a bad thing right now. It's a bit of a tweener move. And I say it's still neutral and hasn't made its mind up because we haven't hit any indefinite zones of reversal. So far, you're just back testing resistance, right? You can see it back testing resistance. By the way, it's smacking the back of that box right there on the bottom side, but not breaking it. Can it break it? Yeah, it can break it. Hasn't yet though. So I'm still more inclined to think it comes down here to this support box before anything super good happens. If anything super good happens, it's going to have to come down and catch some support and find some serious buyers, because for what it's worth, most of the crypto world and most of the investment world doesn't take this chart serious. If they don't take the chart serious, that means what? Gonna hate to hear this, but they don't take the company serious. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean it in an honest way. All right. I'm indifferent. I don't own any. I got plenty of other stuff to buy and sell. And this one's been such a stinker that it leans me away from it. Again, some improvement, needs a lot more, and it needs to sustain it. I see YouTube's tripping, and I'm sorry, y'all. There's nothing I can do about it. I see it loading and not doing anything. It sucks. I can't change it. See if I can get it to go. See if I can get it to work. All right, it's kind of working. It's just lagging a little bit. That's all good, man. Saul Goodman. You guys have seen that. Better Call Saul. Awesome show. All right, so we went over XRP, went over DAG, went over Ethereum, went over Bitcoin. There's no sense in going off in a tangent about a bunch of other altcoins. I can scroll the list right here, and you'll see that most of them, folks, aren't doing great. As you'll see, you'll have an occasional green one, but for the most part, things are in the gutter. So playing with altcoins is playing with fire. You guys have fun and see what you want to do. Your choice. Let's go over to some majors, right? Let's look at the stocks, bonds, and equities world and indices. So S&P 500 ended up having a good closing today. You had a good Friday, a good Monday, and a good Tuesday, and you're challenging a new high. You haven't broken it yet, but all the way back up to the 683 level on the S&P 500. That is solid. NASDAQ, again, it's going to look a lot like the S&P 500. It ain't going to load, is it? Are we serious? Come on, man. All. There we go. All right, here's the NASDAQ. My charts are freezing for random reasons. Still a lower high here. I don't want you to think I don't see that. But I want you to also note that that's some good buy pressure coming off a rebate. You did get a rebate right here, right? And then immediately buyers came back in and attacked. Slightly different than the crypto charts, isn't it? Exactly. So you're back over the 8 EMA again. This will be the second close in a row. Very nice fight for the NASDAQ. Let's keep it going. Dow Jones had an awesome day today. Look at that. Closed a new all-time high on the Dow Jones. Hell yeah, brother. You love to see new all-time highs. Big push. Now maintain that. Apple also had a big day today. Look at that move by Apple. Goodness. Big push up after the big ugly close on Halloween. She's done nothing but go sideways and up since then. You love to see it. I think she's got more power in the future too. Facebook. If you were looking for a rebate, here's a rebate that you're going to take a big risk on if you do it. So it's failed every moving average, as you see. Now it's got a couple candles down here dancing with buy pressure like it wants to do something, but as you see, even post market, she's still down a click. It's under everything. It has nothing but resistance and ugliness in the way. So it's your call there. You want to take the rebate? You think Facebook's going to stick around and keep going? Hey, man, you can buy some shares and jump on board and be a voting member. Amazon. So pretty good Thursday, pretty good Friday, pretty good Monday. I'm sorry, pretty good Thursday, pretty bad Friday, pretty good Monday, Tuesday, and today. We'll see what happens with Wednesday, but you did close pretty good both days here. Not mad about it at all. If I put the moving averages back up there, you'll see you never lost the AEMA. Very impressive for Amazon. Rebate taken and chart moved back up. This looks like it wants to try new all-time highs again. Throat's killing me, fellas. All right. Microsoft. Big push for Microsoft in the last couple of days. As you see, Monday and Tuesday this week have been fruitful so far. Problem is she's still under all the moving averages except the 200. That's way down there. Otherwise, she's running right into the 100, the 50, and the 821. Need to jump those. Big rebate here if you want it from 553 and a half to 508. That's a decent rebate. That's a decent rebate. See that? If you think Microsoft's coming back, take a shot. Here's Tesla. All right, Tesla continues to go sideways and up. Doesn't want to fail too far. It doesn't look like anyway. She hit the 50 moving average right here and bounced. Did move up into the 821. Didn't quite break it just yet. She closed in it, but then jumped underneath it today. So she's having a little internal battle here about whether she wants to get up or get down. I still think long term, this gets to $600. For now, she's down a touch pre-market. For tomorrow, we'll see where the chips lie, but it's held on pretty strong. Google keeps right on pushing. Look at that. New all-time high, or no, equal high today, almost a new all-time high. New weekly high, almost a new all-time high. Bounced the 8 EMA there, caught a wave, and is yet to slow down. Very impressive for Google. I still think 300's in the cards. NVIDIA, so you're back and forth a bit right here, playing with the 821. But you like that bounce that you got off the 50. That was nice. It's done that a lot in the past, as you see. Hopefully we hold the line here. That big hammer candle has so far played out. Let's keep seeing some more fight, NVIDIA. Similar story for Palantir. By the way, NVIDIA and Palantir were two of the companies that were kind of whining and crying about the shorts. Brother, that's the way it works. You guys know that. You're just being greedy. So anyway, you're over the 821 EMA right now on the daily after the close today. That's another 2 closes over the 821. It's exactly what you look for. Dogs walking around behind me. It's exactly what you look for. Needs to hold the line here and keep holding water. But so far looks pretty good. If it can keep going back to 200 is fully realistic. SMH, Vanex Semiconductors. You guys have this in your 401ks likely and don't even know it. This represents a large swath of a technology fund. All right. Over for post-market right now, you hung the 21 EMA and didn't fail it just yet. Wait a minute zone after being stuck under a take profit fib. Is there going to be a good discount here to take? So far, so good. You had a big hammer candle right there, and she hasn't laid over and quit just yet. eBay, she had a fair day. Look at that. Ever since last Wednesday or last Thursday, she's made quite the move up. It looks pretty darn impressive. Running into the moving averages right now. Let's see if it can maintain it or not. Sometimes we slow down when we hit these levels like it did before. I'm hoping that she can maintain buy pressure and keep going, right? Last couple right here, and then we'll jump off. IWM, if you don't know what that is, that's the Russell Index. I'm going to give it a second to try to load here. It's struggle bussing. Aren't we all? It's not going to work. All right, let's try this. Here you go, Russell 2000. So off the 100 moving average, not bad. You've jumped over the 50 and you're right at the 821 EMA. You saw the discount get taken pretty well. So far, she's still hanging on up there. I like the slow curve we see right here. I think that's probably going to continue to play out. We're going to see another attack of the all-time high in time and not necessarily in a short amount of time, but in time. I think it just needs a little bit to figure it out. Gold continues to print after yesterday and today. My goodness, broke the 821 EMA, added about $750 billion to its market cap, and then added another about 60 or 50 billion today. What does that say about what does that say about the state of the economy when metals are up that much? You know. Last but not least, the dollar index. We've talked about the dollar index multiple times. It's not going to work. Dude, I hate when this happens. I do. I really hate it. When stuff starts freezing and I want to look at stuff. Because I can't look at the dollar index. That's going to suck. I'll just do Coinbase. Coinbase, which can be a bit of a precursor to crypto. Bottom of this wedge, you've just tested it. I rolled over now. You're hitting the 8 EMA broadly with a big rejection. Not great. You are up a touch post-market, but not a whole bunch. You did bounce that 200 moving average. That was great, but you didn't maintain the buy pressure. You immediately failed it again. We need to see some of this stuff maintain and not just give up and roll over. It's got to have more fight than that. If it can't have more fight than that, man, we're in for a bad way. You see how bad this Bitcoin daily chart right here looks? I don't think I need to spell out for you what this is going through. All right. Last time I'll say this. There's not enough up to maintain these much downs. All right. The pushes down are far greater than the pushes up. And that's just not sustainable, folks. So despite all the talk of bubble this or fail that or whatever, I don't really do any of that. I just do charts. This is still in a downtrend. It's still rejecting every chance it gets. And the bears continue to flex every chance they get. We have a very, very bad looking daily candle forming right now. And if this holds up, which it looks like it may, we're going to have another couple bad days in a row here. So mind your positions carefully. All right. Plan ahead. Let's follow the 4 rules. No emotions. Have a plan. Have a backup plan and take your profits. Thank you all for watching today. I appreciate you guys coming on here and hanging out. No reason to do a super long stream and just keep repeating the bad news constantly, right? Right. I made some clips of these. We'll put clips up all throughout the different social media platforms, be that Rumble, X, or YouTube. Thank you guys for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me, and I appreciate that. We had about 350 people watching today, which is pretty awesome, right? Let's make the best of our todays, the worst of our tomorrows, right? New day, better day, every day. And last but not least, if no one else told you, Keith will tell you today. Keith loves you. Thank you, guys. See you back again Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel, 4 o'clock. Y'all be good, man. I'm out. Sky's the limit. Peace.